Hi, everybody. I just wanted to share something with you that I've been thinking about. We've all sort of identified ourselves as having a certain style, or at least striving to obtain a style that we would consider uniquely our own. And I think I've certainly put it out there that on numerous occasions that my approach is what I would call sound centered. And I just wanted to go even deeper into that. Um, I recently I've been thinking about it and even putting it in a more succinct way. So I've identified it as following a four-tier hierarchical order of importance. Now, the first tier, or say the top tier, is sound. Now, in this context, sound serves no other purpose other than to resonate. That's it, just resonate. And this could be many manifestations of sound. It could be conventional notes, noises, nuances. It could be something I call the three N's: notes, noises, and nuances. And again, in this at this tier, at this level, uh, that is the only function of sound is to resonate. The second tier, sound manipulation, here we've established that the sound is resonating, whatever manifestation of sound we're working with. And now at this level or this tier, we are manipulating the sound. So in essence, we're taking the the putty, and then we're shaping it in some way. So this is what's happening at the second tier. At the third tier, this is language. At this tier, uh, we've established the resonating of the sound. We've manipulated the sound. Now we're kind of stringing all of these different manifestations together, kind of threading it together to perform musical sentences. So as a consequence of forming numerous musical sentences, now musical language is starting to evolve. So this is actually leading to the fourth tier, which is style. Of course, now that you have all of these musical sentences and that the language is overflowing, the most natural step now is to communicate with others. Now, the reason why style is important is because when two or more people come together and they have an understanding of style, within that style comes a set of, you might say, musical values, or you might say it's an aesthetic contract of do's and don'ts. Now, this is important because if you don't have this, it could be very difficult for two consenting improvisers to come together on the same page. So I mean, for me, I find even if I'm not that type of player, it's important for me to think in that way. I think especially if I want to make that type of musical connection. Okay, so now, why is all this important? Um, well, typically when people learn to play, they do the opposite. They identify a style they want to play, or that they associate themselves with, and then after sort of make a commitment to the style, then they start to develop the language. They start to learn the language, and sort of in their attempt to personalize the language, they then venture into sound manipulation. So this is when they're sort of putting their own inflections. They're sort of, just finding their own way to express the language. And typically, folks stop there. I mean, it's rare that you go from style and then you go all the way down to uh, sound for the sake of sound, where it's like all you're concerned about is the sound resonating. So this is where I think my approach is a little different. I mean, because I basically reversed it. Some might say, maybe I put it where it should be, and okay, I'll go there too. So So I think this is certainly interesting because it just provides just another perspective of approaching improvisation. Because I think sometimes when you start off with being too much in a box, I think it clouds your thinking from the very beginning. I mean, so I find with this approach, you might say, I'm starting off with a kind of truth, a kind of absolute truth, and then I'm sort of crafting a philosophy around it, uh, rather than what is usually done. You have a philosophy, and then within that philosophy, you try to find truth. Okay, so that's some things I've been thinking about. As Arsenio Hall used to say, things that make you go, hmm. So anyway, thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.